Let us start. If Simon joins in, he will have to fall in where we left off. Okay, so Johnson, same as last time. I'm going to give you the first. I'm going to take the second, you the third. I'm going to take the last one. So, ask me the first question, Johnson. Johnson?
How would you deal with language barriers?
Okay, before I answer that question, I think let me just quickly explain. This topic is about living in another country, so keep that in mind. And language barriers is, if you don't understand it, it is when two people are from different countries speaking different languages, but they don't know each other. Then there exists what we call a language barrier. So the question is, how would I deal with that with other people in another country not understanding me? So I would try and teach myself some common phrases that people around me use, or Google Translate to communicate with others. Okay, so there's my answer. Now, Johnson, what local food or traditions would you try first?
Uh, I think I would try local food first because when I go when I went there, I'm very hungry and I want to eat something. So I think I should try local food.
Excellent. Okay. Ask next
Uh,
question, Johnson.
would you want to go to school there?
Yes. Yes, I would. I think by going to school in this country will help me understand and communicate with the people. Okay, country will help me understand the people and communicate with them. Let me change it and communicate with them. Okay, Johnson, would you keep in touch with friends back home and how?
Yeah, I would. I will talk with them in Messenger or Facebook.
Okay, excellent. Remember, you talk with someone on Messenger or on WhatsApp, not in WhatsApp. Okay, so let me quickly save these answers and then we'll go over them again as if we're having a conversation. Okay, so Johnson, you can ask the first question.
How would you deal with language barrier?
I would try and teach myself some common phrases the people around me use, or Google Translate to communicate with others. Um, what local food or traditions would you try first?
I think I would try local foods first because if I go there, I will be very hungry and want to try their local foods.
Sorry, I made
Uh,
a horrible spelling mistake there. Okay, excellent.
would you want to go to school there?
Yes, I would. I think by going to school in this country will help me understand the people and communicate with them. Would you keep in touch with friends back home, and how?
Yes, I would. I take with them on Messenger on Facebook.
Okay, so I think we should add the word I will. I think I added that. Let me just see. Nope, still no sign of Simon. Okay, let's go on to the next topic. Okay, I think we talked about yes, you and Simon talked about technology, and you and me are going to talk about, let me see, what's this? Okay, let's go to one of the first topics. Let me just make sure we did not do that before, because I don't want to. Okay, we did this one. Let's go to the second one. I think we did this one as well. Okay, let's talk about dream jobs and the future. So, no, wait. Before we start with this topic, I want to do something else. We're going to switch the questions around now. I'm going to ask you, and then you me. So you get my questions, I get your questions. See if you can answer both ways. So, let me ask you first. How would you deal with language barriers?
I will use Google Translate to translate the language.
How would you Google Translate to what?
Uh, Translate.
Oh, to translate. Excellent. Ask me the next question.
Uh, what local food or traditions would you try first?
I would try the food first, because I would like to know where I can get the best or where I can get tasty food from. Okay, would you want to go to school there?
Yes, I would because I can understand more about their language, community, and culture.
Perfect, yes, I would, because I can understand more about their language and
And community culture.
community and the country. Excellent answers, Johnson. Well done. Okay. Last question, Johnson.
Would you keep in touch with friends back home? How?
Yes, I would. I would mainly video call them regularly, and um, I would try and get them to visit me or go visit them. Okay, let me just save these answers and then we'll do it again as if we are in a conversation. Okay, so how would you deal with language barriers?
I would use Google Translate to translate the language. What local food or tradition would you try first?
I would try the food first because I would like to know where I can get tasty food from. Would you want to go to school there?
Yes, I could, because I can understand more about their language, community, and the country. Uh, would you keep in touch with friends back home, and how?
Yes, I would. I would mainly video call them regularly, and I would try to get them to visit me or go visit them. Excellent. So we don't really have problems with answering the questions. Now, I think you and me can focus a bit on how we answer the questions, not the words, how we sound. So I want you to let's go to another topic and we will just talk. We're not going to type the words again. So I want you to try and figure out how you would say these answers or how would you answer these questions with emotion. Okay? You can either choose that you're optimistic or excited, or you could choose something that you can try and answer it in a way that seems like you don't understand. So I want you to experiment with different emotions when answering these questions, okay? Do you understand?
Yes.
Okay, so let's go again. Let me just order this out. I will give you the first question. When you're ready, let's do this.
What speed of technology do you use the most, and why?
I use my computer the most because I work from it on it and I play games on it. Has technology helped you learn about how has technology helped you learn better or distracted you more?
Technology helped me learn better because when I meet difficult difficult problems, I can ask ChatGPT to answer.
Excellent.
Uh, what do you think school will look like in 10 years?
I think schools will be different, but I don't think they will have an advancement in technology. I think mainly they would have improvements on how students learn, like the methods students they use to teach students. I think that would change in 10 years. If you could invent a gadget, what would it do?
Uh,
It's a simple question, but yet it's hard to answer. If you could invent a gadget, what would it do?
I could invent a flight car because it help people travel more faster.
Excellent. So you would try and invent a flying car. Cool. Okay, so I think let's quickly read. I want you to think about these things. So when we talk English, we have there's a certain tone in our voices that tell other people if we are confident and if we don't know, if we are concerned or if we are happy. So there are three types of question or context. So these conversation topics include, this is how these topics in this document, I sent this document with the video to you guys. So when you look at those topics, the social media, the ideal school, living in another country, and what was the other one? Let me see here. Yeah, the technology in daily life, the living in another country, and dream jobs and the future. All these topics can help you improve your intonation. Now, intonation is the, the way you answer questions or you ask questions. Like a how question would have would sound something like this. How do you feel? Do you hear my voice? How do you feel? And questions like the what questions has a more like shocked sound. Like, what did you do? Do you hear that?
Yes.
Okay, so these conversation topics include there are some open-ended questions. These are meant to encourage thoughtful, expressive answers. So some of these questions are open-ended. Like I know one perfect example is this one. They don't tell us what country, they just say another country. So you can go wild with your answers. You can say, how would you deal with language barriers? You can say, I would go, like you said, use Google Translate to help me. You can say, I would go find a tutor or a school that would teach me the languages of the country. You can say, I will go find someone that speaks my language. You can say a lot of things just for that one question. Same with the second one. What local food? They don't expect this topic doesn't expect you to give a specific food type like pizza or hamburgers or hot dogs. It's just a topic of what would you do? Like it gets you thinking. If you had to move to another country, what would you do first? Would you go try the local food or would you go look at their traditions? Okay. Um, That is some of the open-ended questions. And then we have emotional content like opinions, preferences, excitement, frustration, all of which naturally involve varied pitch of tone. So some of these questions, they they ask you your opinion, what you think, what you feel, what you think will happen or how it will be, what you prefer. Like a good example of preference is this one. Where is it? Do you prefer working alone or in a team? That's one. And what's your dream job? These are all questions that help you, that should get you thinking and have you give a natural and expressive conversation. So it's really like it these questions, if you're really good at speaking English, you will naturally speak with a varied pitch and tone. Now, pitch is how high your voice goes, and tone is if you sound happy, excited, sad, or angry. Okay. And then there's real world context, which allows students to practice sounding curious, surprised, confident, um, or unsure. So there's no correct way to answer these questions. And most of the IELTS questions are like this. Um, but they do require you to sound curious or surprised or confident. So um, I've noticed you don't struggle with answering the question. You're just keeping your voice stays the same throughout answering the questions. You don't really sound. Sometimes you will sound curious, unsure if you don't know what the question is. But sometimes you don't really. I haven't really heard you sound curious, surprised, or confident. So that is what me and you are going to do now. We're going to focus on getting you to sounding curious, like, what is your dream job? Instead of what is your dream job? Do you hear the difference?
Yes, I do.
Okay. And I don't think there's really a question here that might help us sound surprised. Let me see. Now, there's not really any questions here that helps you, that would really make you sound surprised, but the answers would. Like if, for the question, how do you think AI or robots will affect jobs? I think that question might let you sound a little bit surprised. If you answer it, you might sound surprised. So, but anyway, let's quickly go to the dream jobs and future part of this document. Where is it? And that's technology, living in the country. There we go. So, I'm going to ask you all these questions and I want you to answer them, okay? Johnson?
Yes.
Okay, so what is your dream job? So try to sound excited.
Uh, my dream job is doctor because I can help people.
Okay, remember, my dream job is to become. Try it again, but using these words, to become a doctor.
Uh, my dream job is to become a doctor because I can help people.
Okay. Would you rather work from home or in an office?
Uh,
This is a question of preference. So here you can sound, you don't have to sound exciting. You can sound confident. Try to be confident in your answer. Would you rather work from home or in an office?
I I would rather work in an office because I can help the people. I can help the doctor the, and the other doctor can help me.
Okay. Do you prefer working alone or in a team?
I prefer working in a team because the member can help me and I can help them.
Okay. Do you think AI or robots will affect jobs? Johnson, how do you think AI or robots will affect jobs?
Uh, I think AI and robot will solve the question if the doctor uh,
You think the robot will affect the jobs if, or do you think the robots can help doctors?
uh,
Okay.
mm,
Anyway, don't worry about that last question. Let's first look at the first three. So I'm going to answer these questions like I also want to be a doctor, and I want you to hear the difference in my voice for each answer, okay? So, can you ask me the first question?
what is your dream job?
My dream job is to be a doctor one day because I would like to help people and get them well. Question number two.
Uh, would you rather work from home or in an office?
I would prefer to work in an office because if I want to be a doctor, I cannot really work from home. I would have to go work in an hospital. Question number three.
Do you prefer working alone or in a team?
It's very dangerous for doctors to work alone since um, one doctor can make a mistake and it could cost someone their lives. That's why I prefer to work in a team, and that's why I want to become a doctor because as a doctor, there will be teams to help and support each other to make decisions and to treat patients. Did you hear? My voice wasn't the same throughout the answers. So you have this document. I want you to go and prepare one answer for each question in this document. Only the first part. I want you to get some answers for this, for each question. Same with this, all the way to the last topic, topic 5. Okay. And I want you to go practice saying them, sounding confident, sounding excited, sounding unsure or confused or concerned. Do you understand, Johnson?
Yes.
Okay. But that was our lesson, Johnson. I will see you again.
Bye
Bye-bye.
bye, teacher.